pattern literally just gave me an update. Like today you might be feeling some deep feelings. This is a good time to go inward and spend time on your own. And I'm like, yeah. Anyway, YouTube, here's every feeling I'm feeling. Okay. That's disheartening. So I just I just talked to this camera for about at least 8 minutes, and it like literally was just like, by the way, none of that, we're recording, we're getting none of this, we're getting none of this. I don't even know what that was. Okay, well, hi, hello, again, first time for you, second for me, it's fine. My name is Jasmine Kylene. I'm a spiritual counselor, I'm a journalist, I'm a girl processing a lot of emotions all the time and doing her best at it. I just kind of wanted to cut on the camera and release a stream of consciousness. So that's what we're gonna do today. I hope this is in focus. If it's not, imagine that I look hot with blue eyeshadow. I have a blanket on because I'm cold. Anyway, it's funny because if you're watching this around the time of upload or inception or birth of this video, then you are around the era of Mars in Scorpio, which I have just done a ton of like content talking about Mars in Scorpio and how it is going to be a really hibernative and hermit time for us to reel back in the energy that we are giving the world, right? If you have been really on some vulnerable shit, right? You're on some vulnerability vomit all the time. Now is the time to really be intentional and discerning with who you're giving your energy to, who you're giving your accessibility to, right? It's an honor and a privilege to have accessibility to your energy. So if you have been sort of dishing it out without limit or bounds, now is the time to kind of reel that back in a little bit. And so I was like, yes, you know what? All I do is write poems about my feelings and I share it on the internet with strangers, and like I need to just come back to self a little bit. And like 10 minutes later I was like, I'm gonna turn the camera on and I'm gonna talk about my shadow work. So you know what? I'm just gonna move with my body, and my body is telling me right now that I just wanna talk to a camera. Maybe it's because I like my outfit today. I don't know. Because I just feel like this season has really been calling for me. I think especially Scorpio season has really been calling for me to be just embarking on some shadow work, which we should all be doing on a seasonal basis. But yeah, I kind of wanted to share what was coming up, and maybe if you relate, then you can make me feel a little less crazy. But as you can see from the title, the first thing that I wanted to talk about, but I think more than anything like confess, is that I haven't been meditating, and that is so embarrassing for me. I think I've been having to deal with like a lot of internalized guilt surrounding me meditating recently, and I wanted to kind of unpack that because I feel like that in itself is odd, right? But like as a spiritual counselor, I work with a lot of clients one-on-one, and I always advocate and continue to advocate for the preciousness of meditating, and not only meditating, but meditating on a consistent basis. This nail is broken, don't look at it. And just how like if you meditate once, you know, peace suddenly isn't like your homie. Like you have to like commit to it and show up to it a lot. And so yeah, like I think I'm like this advocate for meditation, and I had a meditative practice where I meditated twice a day, every day. And girl, in the past month, I've meditated maybe like 3 times. Literally, don't look at me. And it's brought up a lot of different things. I think, like for example, right now I'm currently not in therapy because, once again, very huge advocate for therapists. I'm in Madrid right now, and my therapist is located in Miami, so she can't like legally practice with me while I'm not in the country. So I was like, okay, cool, like it's fine. I'll be back in the States in a couple months. We'll pick up where we left off. And I think that's good, right? I think everything should be seasonal and cyclical, right? If you are consistently in a period of construction or healing, you're not giving yourself the time to reap the benefits and enjoy the version of yourself that you're working to become, right? If you're always deepening and healing and looking at your trauma, when do you have time to breathe and exhale and look at the version of you that has healed, right? Or like, you know what I mean? To just enjoy life without having to deconstruct it. So I was like, cool. Therapy, I'll come back and I will just carry myself through my bigger waves of emotion. I will reap the benefits of all the therapy that I've done thus far and just live this like beautiful life. And that's exactly what I've been doing. So I've been trying to approach meditation in the same way, and within that redefine what meditation looks like for me. So because I'm in a new city, or like the city isn't new to me, but like I'm in a new routine and a new environment. So I've been using my walks, my distractionless walks, as a form of meditation. And if you break down what meditation is really supposed to be, it's presence, right? It's the quieting of the mind, or the hectic, chaotic mind, and just full presence in where you are in the given moment. And I've been having a lot of like dinners with friends and family and walks and like moments when I'm just fully immersed in life. I've been dancing, I've been, doing things that have forced my mind to not be on overdrive. And I feel like that in itself is a form of meditation. So whether or not I'm like sitting down and oming, versus whether I'm like on a walk and looking at a bird eating a piece of leftover pizza, I think I can choose to define what meditation looks like and means for me in that given moment. Also, though, that could be me making an excuse for why I'm not sitting down and meditating every single day. Also, though, it could be the product of like spiritual bypassing, or not spiritual bypassing, but like I think meditation or spirituality has become so mainstream that I think if we don't see how we practice spirituality to fit the narrative that like mainstream media has said it looks like, which is very whitewashed and removed from what it initially to its core really is, then we think we're doing it wrong. And like, I don't know, that's my first word vomit, but I really just wanted to first and foremost share with you guys that if you are in a period where meditation isn't coming as easily to you, or where you don't feel as committed or as able to commit, there's a middle ground between honoring discipline and really making sure that you're making the effort to show up for yourself and show up for the deepest version of yourself, but also to honor when life is ebbing and flowing in a different direction, and that there's something to learn within redirection and redefinition of what meditation or whatever you are working through in a different lens looks like for you now. I hope that made sense. Otherwise, what else am I looking at? I've been doing a lot of shadow work. I wrote a whole poem about it, which you can check out. One of the things that has come up since I've written that is, this is vulnerable, honey. The pattern literally just gave me an update. Like, today you might be feeling some deep feelings. This is a good time to go inward and spend time on your own. And I'm like, yeah. Anyway, YouTube, here's every feeling I'm feeling. Another thing that's been coming up is that, like, I'm just looking at my relationship patterns through a very, very, very sharp lens right now, and realizing the ways in which my ego has played a very large role in my relationships, and the ways in which my feelings of and insecurity surrounding worthiness have also been playing a role. And so that's been fun. I have this pattern, and like I have like maybe 6 different examples of when this exact thing has happened in my life, but like I'll have someone who's just like insatiably into me, who just like would pay me for me to breathe in their direction, and they're kind and they're handsome and they're all of the things, and I'm just like, no, I'm gonna use you to get the attention that I desire out of you, but I'm not gonna commit, and I'm gonna consistently ghost and come in and out whenever I please relative to what my body says. And then on the other side, as they're looking at me, I'm looking at someone who is the me in the situation. So like desires me when they kind of feel like it, are all of the things that I like, are just so emotionally distant, are present when we're in a physical space, but then like the follow-up is not there, just completely like on a different planet, and I'm like salivating over their mere gaze and validation. And like that pattern, that specific thing has happened since I was literally in like middle school. And it's like happening again, and I'm like, girl, what is this? And I realize one part of it is my ego being very loud and being like, I don't care if this, well, okay, I do on a conscious level, I care. But like on a subconscious level, I'm like, listen, if it means that I get my hit and my dopamine and my dose of validation by letting this person that is obsessed with me tell me all the reasons why they're obsessed with me, so that I can like drink that up and then go back to performing for the intention of this other person, then like so be it. That's just my ego like feeding off of like and fueling off of attention. And then the other part is just my feelings of unworthiness, feeling like apparently my worth is not innate and I need to sort of like perform for it and convince the party why it is that I am deserving of their commitment. So that means being my sexiest all the time and being my funniest and my most charismatic and like playing up the archetype that I embody, just to see if like how long I can hold their gaze. And I am over that. I'm so over that. I'm so over it. I feel like this last instance where it's happening is like the last one that I can allow. And I'm really looking at my relationship with love, my relationship with relationships, and wondering what is subconsciously doing that. I think it has a lot to do with like some daddy issues that are there, but also just like I say that I want a relationship and then I keep getting in situations with people that are emotionally unavailable that I desire, and I realize it's because I probably think that I'm incapable, or like I can't even actually really do a relationship, so I keep like subconsciously putting myself in situations where relationships won't come into fruition, because that'll keep me safe, right? That'll keep me in what I know instead of like the unknown of what it would mean to be in a relationship. I don't know. The whole point is that I am actively right now working on, oh my God. Sorry, like in that sentence, I remembered my dream last night, which was that Priyanka Chopra was telling me secretly that Nick Jonas was gonna divorce her. Tea. Anyway, if that comes out at some point, let the record show I knew, and the spirit of Priyanka Chopra met me in the astral realms, baby. Anyway, I'm realizing that I no longer want to chase... Is that dog okay? I'm realizing that I'm no longer expelling any energy to chase love or an idealized version of it, which I think is what Mars and Scorpio really wants me to like realize right now. I think in order to invite something into your physical space, into your reality, you need to become a vibrational match for it. And so I realized that I am the vibrational match for desperation and despair, and also just like what's the only word that's coming up is wonky, and like why would I ever want to use that word, but just like instability and just like inconsistency. That's what I'm the vibrational match for, because I'm being that to myself. I'm being inconsistent with my own emotions, how I'm showing them, how I'm demanding them, how I'm defining them for myself. And so yeah, I want to come back to a state where I am embodying, radiating, and standing in my power in a way in which I no longer feel this like hunger to find it on an external level, but rather just am it and have it find me vibrationally, because it'll recognize itself within my mirror. Because I also don't want to be like, I want to admit that I want not a relationship, I want like the relationship. I don't want a person, I just want my person. And I think that we can have many people, right? I believe in multiple soulmates, multiple timelines, but like I want, I desire, crave, and deserve the person that's fitting this version of me and the timeline that I'm on right now. A partnership where we can travel and laugh and do life fun together, where I'm satiated and just happy and joyful and at peace on an emotional, physical, mental, spiritual, and sexual level. So I feel like there's no shame in admitting that I desire that. I've had shame surrounding admitting it before, but we're humans, and like humans inevitably crave partnership. But I no longer am going to chase the bag. I'm going to be the bag. I'm no longer going to perform to convince a false bag that I deserve it. I'm going to simply be my own form of abundance and have that abundance recognize me and come home to me. So that's another piece of stream of consciousness, which has like branched out a lot of like ego work and work surrounding self-love and just like who am I when I am feeding my ego versus feeding my soul need. And I don't know, those are kind of like the two major things that I've been working through. So like working through the guilt of not meditating, and then looking at my sense of self-worth and wondering how is it perpetuating toxic relational cycles that no longer serve the version of me that I've evolved into. And that has ultimate taking a lot of accountability. So I've been saying a lot of apologies that I deserve to have to say to people that I've just kind of like used and wrung out their attention for. And I've also been accepting and demanding apologies as well. So that's been fun. But yeah, if you feel called to in the comments, or if you want to message me personally, let me know what shadow work has looked like for you recently. Like, what are you looking at? What emotions are coming up? And yeah, I just hope that in me sharing what's on my mind recently, it gives you permission or validation with what it is that you are feeling. And I hope that you are making the brave choice. I hope that you are giving and gifting yourself grace and patience with how this journey is unfolding for you. And yeah, I feel uncomfortable with the fact that this video doesn't really have like a call to action, or like, I think like at least a cemented purpose. It's kind of just me talking, but maybe that's what it needs to be. If you're feeling like your spiritual routine is shifting in a way that challenges what you've been told spirituality looks like, or, you know, only you and your personal body and intuitive compass knows when you are just disregarding what discipline looks like, and when you are just moving with what your body is asking it to be doing right now. So you know the difference between, like, you know, when you're just being lazy and when you're actually like actively acting against the current. The point is that I hope you have enough discernment to decipher where you're at, and yeah, I hope you're well. Hopefully when I edit this together it'll make sense. Bye.